Bonjour! Just kidding, I have no idea how to speak French. But today we'll make macarons. So I found this recipe online from a French chef, Julien Picadille. And I've done it twice and they came out really good. So I'm trying my luck the third time to see if it's really beginner's luck or if it's gonna work this time. So what you'll need for the macarons are, for the paste, you need 180 grams of ground almonds. Yes, grams, because I'm European and that's how we operate, and that's the only way to operate. Don't get me started. So 180 grams of ground almonds. You will need 210 grams of icing sugar, which is basically powder sugar. And then 64 or 60 grams of egg whites, which is 2 eggs. I doubled those ingredients for today's presentation because tomorrow I have an event and I need many more. Don't ask me how many will come out because I have no idea. Just bear with me here. So this is the paste. Next you need meringue, and we'll just need 2 egg whites again, or 60 grams of egg whites, so 2 eggs. And then syrup is 180 grams of custard sugar, which is regular white sugar, and 40 grams of regular water. And of course, your favorite drink, which is, this is not wine, guys. This is my kombucha. Let's get to it. Oh, one more. I don't like to add artificial stuff to my baking, but I'm only adding 1 tiny drop of food coloring just so it looks pretty. I could do without it, but you know what the heck, you live once. And you only need really tiny drop. So first I'm going to work on a paste. So I'm going to combine my sugar, icing sugar, with ground almonds, and my 60 grams egg whites, and you can combine them with a little spatula, but I have my trusty KitchenAid here, so that's what I'm going to use today and always and every day until I die. Hopefully not soon. Dark humor here. Our paste is ready. You try to avoid any big lumps, so you see how it's nice and blended. It's basically ready for the next step. Okay, our paste is missing. No, it's right there. So it's time to make our syrup for the meringue. And you basically take your sugar, and that's 180 grams, and you add 40 grams of just regular water, filter water, and you will heat it up very slowly, 118 Celsius degrees, which is 244 Fahrenheit. And you don't really have to spend a lot of time mixing it, just from time to time. I highly suggest investing in a good kitchen thermometer. This one is Probe IR720, and you basically aim it and it shows you the temperature. If you don't want to spend money, you can also get something for like $10 in a store. This is like a candy thermometer. I find this one to be more accurate, so I like cooking with this one, and I do cook a lot, so it's worth it. And then basically, once this hits about 110 Celsius, I'm starting on my meringue. So let's do that. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna transition to this side now. So before I start, I like to clean off the inside of my bowl with some vinegar because meringue is very finicky. it likes clean. So I take a little bit of vinegar and just basically just wipe the inside. Just make sure that everything's clean in there. And I hope you wash your hands before you do anything in the kitchen. So, All right, I call it clean. So let's just put our egg whites in here. Let's make sure this is not burning. And whip it. Whip it. So the egg whites are almost done, and my syrup is done. It's 118 degrees. I am not waiting for it to cool off. I'm gonna pour it in very slowly, as you can see. Very slowly, and let it beat for another 2-3 minutes. Glossy, foamy meringue. It's beautiful. Okay, we got our paste ready, our meringue ready. It's very stiff, still warm, which is good. I'm going to use a wooden spoon first. This on the side here. Oops. And put just a little bit first. So I'm putting the meringue into the paste and just going to mix it just to loosen it up. This is where Jacek comes in handy with his huge muscles. It's because the paste is still pretty stiff or hard or whatever. Grunting helps in everything. Climbing, cooking, baking. All right, once it loosens up, you can basically put the rest in and just mix it up. I guess you could use it, or you could mix it with KitchenAid, but I'm not gonna risk it. Chef Julien was using hands, so I'm gonna use the same thing. So I'm gonna put the rest of my beautiful meringue. How pretty. It's all glossy and pretty. All right, get the rest of it. Nothing goes to waste in Anya's kitchen. That's why I look the way I do. It's kind of funny. Okay, well, I'll scrape the rest of it in a minute. Put this away. Okay, and now I'm just going to mix it all together, and at the end I'll add one drop, literally one drop of red coloring. and I'll mix it, and next we'll pipe it. Have you been to France? We went one time on our honeymoon, and it was quite an adventure because we were pretty poor back then, but we wanted to go on like a month-long honeymoon, driving all over Europe. So we rented a car and we basically lived out of the car, which was great, super cheap. But we also didn't want to pay for like highway tolls, so we would take side roads, and I don't know if they did it on purpose. See how it's turning? Oh, it's so pretty. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but on the map they did not have good directions, because back then it was like 2004 or 2005, I can't remember, 2005. Back then we didn't have GPS, it was all like paper map, and on the map the side roads were not really well marked, so we decided to take side roads to go to Paris from like, I think it was Nancy up north, and we ended up spending a night on a roundabout because Jacek would drive. I refused to drive in Europe because I know better than this. So Jacek would drive and I would look at the map for the nearest town, because roundabouts weren't like here in the US where you have like 4 ways and you know which is north, which is, they have like 50 different little tiny streets going from each roundabout, and you didn't know which way to go. So Jacek would drive, like he would go around like 10 times. In the meantime, I would look for the nearest city that's closer to Paris. And one time, I swear, we rode around for like 20 times and Jacek finally gave up. He pulled over on the side of roundabout because it was like 9 p.m. and we went to sleep. So, anywho, but we saved like $20. All right, so this is ready for piping. See how pretty? Oh, I was gonna scrape the rest. I'm gonna scrape the rest. So the paste is ready to be piped. Look how pretty it is. I prepared my baking trays with parchment paper beforehand. I forgot to mention it in the beginning, but this is the first thing I do. I prepare my parchment paper. And before I start, what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of the paste on the bottom so it holds the parchment paper in place. Otherwise, it'll be sliding. There. Now it's in place. I bought this reusable piping bag. I think it's Joann's. You can buy one-time use, but it's such a waste. It's so easy to clean. I just hand wash it and I can use it over and over and over again. So this is where my tiny hands are gonna fail me and I'm gonna drop it to the floor. I need a new spoon. I need a new spoon. Okay. So here's the key, I think. You want to make even dots and you want to put them maybe like an inch apart, because you'll see in a second they will expand a little bit. So, woo, here it goes. Of course, Chef Julien, he makes like 5 in 5 seconds. And you know what? This is not a race. We're going for nice and beautiful and even. Don't forget to breathe. They say it's kind of important. I don't know why, but it is. And if you don't smile, it doesn't count. So you probably ask, how many do I get out of all of those? I don't know. The answer is I don't know. It probably depends on the size. I make them small because then they're like this one bite awesomeness. And you get more, so more people get to enjoy it. And I like to make people happy. So the more I get, the more people I make happy. Okay, so I piped the first tray out. Now here's the key. You take it and you want them to be nice and even and flat. You want to bang it from the bottom. Don't be shy. Okay, so now I'm going to let it dry for probably 15 minutes. You want this tiny little coat on top. What will happen is, once you bake them, they'll be crispy on the outside but chewy on the inside. So I'm gonna put them on the side and pipe the rest of them. I forgot to mention that while you're waiting for your macarons, you want to set your oven to 320 Fahrenheit or 160 Celsius. And then enjoy your drink. Okay, macarons are ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put them in for 12 minutes. Let's take a look, shall we? I have a good feeling about it. Okay, 12 minutes have passed. Let's take those puppies out. Oh yeah. Okay, once you take them out, you want to immediately put them on a cooling rack because you don't want them to dry. If they stay on your hot surface, they will become dry. So try not to lose any of them like I'm doing right now. French would say sacre bleu. Yeah. Okay. Just let them cool. This one is a lost soul. Not a lost cause. I want to take the rest of them out before they burn. Alright, the hardest part is over. It's done. They came out beautiful. I have the rest of them behind me. They're cooled down. So it's time to make fruit custard. And to make it, I need 2 whole eggs, 90 grams of sugar, 70 grams of fruit puree, and I believe you can buy like the ready one, but I like to make my own. And basically what I do is I buy frozen fruit. Those are wild blueberries, and I add 10% of sugar. So this is 340 grams of fruit. So I added 34 grams of sugar, and I just simmer it very slowly. And then, you know, you see little juice forming. They kind of fall apart, and at the end I hand blend it, and then I freeze it for next time. Then we need 10 grams of lemon juice and 2 grams of gelatin. However, since I'm a vegetarian and I can't stand the smell of gelatin, it just smells really, really bad to me, I buy agar, and you can find it online, and it's I think it's made out of red algae or algae. Correct me, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's vegetarian. And then the last but not least, 150 grams of cold butter. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for now because we won't need it for now. So I wouldn't be Anya if I wouldn't goofed. So here's what happened. I forgot to hit record. But let me tell you what to do. You take your sugar and your eggs and you mix it. You just mix it. It doesn't have to be much, just maybe 30 seconds. Then you take your fruit puree and you add your lemon juice to it. You mix it and you put it together with your eggs and sugar, and then you mix it some more, and then you have this. So for the next part, we're gonna go over to the stove and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, let's make sure I hit record this time. Okay, looks good. So this next step, we are going to cook our mixture on Bain Meringue. So basically, I am cooking some hot water. Here it is. I'm boiling some water. And I will put maybe quarter of the pot of water in there. And that's all I have. Put our mixture on top, like so, and cook it on a small flame for about 10 minutes. You don't have to whisk it all the time. What will happen is the mixture will cook on the steam here. And after 10 minutes, you should start seeing ribbon-like consistency. So let's just leave it for 10 minutes and stir it from time to time. Okay, so 10 minutes later, we have this consistency. And now is the time when we add gelatin. Now with agar, so now you would just put gelatin and mix it, but with agar it tends to lump. So I dissolve it in a little bit of water and mix it and just add it and mix it. Mix it really, really well. Now the last step is to add cold butter. However, you want to wait for this to cool off to 113 Fahrenheit degrees or 45 Celsius. Otherwise, the butter will make it lumpy. So once it's mixed, I'm gonna let it cool off and then we'll do the last step. Okay, our fruit cart is almost ready. It's cool enough to add butter. So I'm just going to add 150 grams of cold butter. Mix it as much as I can. It's flying all over. Free the butter. There you go. Okay, and now that we mixed it, I'm going to use a hand blender to get rid of any lumps that are in there, and then we're done. Okay. So now this is ready for piping, and then we're almost done. That wasn't too hard, was it? I think it's easier than learning French. Or Polish for that matter. And the last step is piping our fruit curd. onto our shelves. Be generous. Because they're not quite even, all of them, I lay them out first so they match size-wise. Some of them are a little bit smaller or bigger. I'm working on it. It's my third time, so. This is the fun part. Doop. And now I'll just put the top of them. They're so pretty. You are so pretty. So what do you think? Yay or nay? Did I nail it this time? I feel like I did. And then I will leave them in the fridge overnight. You can also freeze them. I froze some of my second batch and they were okay a couple days later. So, ta-da! Here, let me show you the close-up. Yeah. See if I can raise it up a little bit without dropping them on the floor. All right, well, thank you for watching. I hope it's helpful and you enjoyed it. And I guess until next time.